choosing the fish. This is the fun part. I've heard lots of stories of people who have home aquariums and they put fish in their tanks and they're very concerned because they may have one fish bullying another, or they might have fish jumping out all the time. And I've even heard a story of where they thought it was one fish, turned out to be a completely different fish that wasn't supposed to go in that tank with the other fish, and they were bullying each other. So this is why compatibility charts are going to be your best friend. Choosing the right fish is super, super important. And using these compatibility charts to help you with that can also be important. So definitely use these compatibility charts. Obviously, there's not going to be every single fish in every single group on this chart. It's countless. It's infinitum, right? So it's just important that when you're doing this research that you understand that some fish should not go together because they will bully each other to the death, which is never good. So just keep that in mind. So then we have the freshwater starter fish. So these are what most hobbyists would agree are beginner-friendly fish within the freshwater community. Betta's obviously number one choice, very easy. However, when we say beginner-friendly fish, we're not saying that they don't require the top care. They still require enrichment. They still require water quality testing. They still require filtration. Keep that in mind with Betta's, right? But it just means that they're hardier and they're going to be a little bit more lenient when it comes to when things inevitably happen. So Betta's great example, very hardy fish. They don't go well together though. Danios, Tetra is another really good option. Grammies and cichlids, big fish, recommended 50-gallon or bigger for those guys. Plecos can also get pretty big, but I love plecos. And corridoras, both plecos and corridoras, they are on that bottom tier. So when you're stocking your tank, you want to do like top, middle, and bottom, or at least top and bottom. So you don't overstock one area and the other is completely empty, right? So you don't want to fill a tank with plecos and there's nothing swimming around, right? So plecos, corridoras, great options for that bottom tier. Sharks are really cool. I had a shark who lived for a very, very long time, and so I recommend sharks. I don't think that they usually make the beginner-friendly fish lists, but I had a good time with sharks. Molly's not so much. I always find mollies on every list, but those are the ones I had the hardest time taking care of. I actually had to donate them. Same with my barbs, but they're always substantially on every list. So if it's in the data, I'm gonna put it in the PowerPoint. Then you have the saltwater fish. This is where I shine because I actually used to work at a wholesale facility. So the fish would come to us, we'd sell them to pet stores, and then the pet stores would sell them to you guys. So saltwater fish I'm very familiar with when it comes to what fish are prime example of beginner-friendly fish. Chromis and damselfish will always and forever be on the top. Specifically, green chromis and yellowtail damselfish, great options. If you want a tang, so like a dory fish, don't recommend dory, which is a blue tang, as a starting fish. Scopus tang or a yellow-eyed tang are a good option. Coral beauty is an angelfish. Lovely, lovely choice. Clownfish will always be up there because they're captive bred. Gobies like firefish or these diamond sleeper gobies, they can be a little nervous. Same with royal grammas, which is a basslet. They can be pretty nervous and then they jump. So if their stress level goes up, they will jump, which is a little terrifying. Banggai cardinalfish are lovely, gorgeous fish to stare at. Same with six-line wrasse. Thankfully, Banggai cardinalfish are also captive bred, which is amazing. If I had to pick a butterfly fish, it'd be raccoon. I don't recommend butterflies to beginners, but if you truly want one, the raccoon butterfly is the way to go. They can be a little bully, like they can bully other fish sometimes, but if you usually put three of them, like an odd number in the tank, you'll be fine. I wouldn't put 2 though. And then red tooth triggerfish. If you really desperately want a triggerfish, this is the one to pick because they're pretty chill. All right. So then you have acclimation, which is really important for putting your fish into the actual enclosure. Never in a million years will I recommend just dumping your fish from the bag when you take it home into the tank. That's at least bag float for at least 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Or 45 might be too long. 20 to 30 minutes, great. But I would do a full acclimation if I were doing things strictly based on animal welfare. The first method is bag floating. Basically, both methods, before I even begin with bag float, both methods require a 5-gallon bucket, or at least a big bucket, filled with the fish and the bag water. And the goal is to get the bucket to match the water that's in the tank. So that way the fish can naturally acclimate to the new water before it gets put into its final home. So bag float, first you're going to actually just float the bag for 20 minutes. Then you'll use the bucket and you're going to scoop some water from the tank and slowly dump just little bits at a time every 10 minutes. And then you're going to do your water quality testing to guarantee that the water in the bag and the water in the tank are going to match. So the bucket and the tank match. Drip method does require an actual siphon from the tank into the bucket and a little valve so you can turn it on to a drip method. A dripping is just when the water comes out of the siphon very, very slowly, and it will slowly fill the bucket all the way to the top and sometimes even overflowing. So you always want to be ready to like take some out if needed. But that way you don't have to actually scoop the water and it's dripping very slowly, and then the fish can naturally become acclimated to the new water. Once that part's done, I recommend using a Howdy House. The Howdy House is in tank quarantine. So you're having an actual box, this clear box. You can see a picture of it on the screen here. There's a box that you can suction onto the side of the tank inside the water, and then the fish goes in there, because then all the other animals who also might get stressed out about a new member of the tank, they can check that fish out without injuring each other, right? So they can kind of see each other, they can interact with each other, but not actually physically, which is good. So Howdy Houses are recommended. If you don't want to do a Howdy House, at least you can move some of the decor around so then all the fish feel brand new to the tank because everything's moved around. So shifting the decor can also be very helpful. And then some animals do have specific, more stress-related defense mechanisms that can cause problems for you and for the animals. I got a cowfish one time I brought home, and the cowfish unfortunately released its toxins and it did not make it. So it sucked, and it was really unfortunate because I didn't manage the stress as much as I should have, right? So cowfish can have a venom that they release during really, really stressed out events, and that toxin can kill themselves. It can kill other fish. So coral can do the same thing, but those toxins, if you breathe them in, can cause problems as well. My friend has actually had that happen to him before. So, and he had to go to the hospital. So just keep that in mind, that some animals can have a very visceral reaction to stress that can actually cause not only other animals to get sick, but you as well. So just do your research when you're doing acclimation for specific animals. When the animals are in the exhibit, enrichment's important. Enrichment is an experience that allows the animal to show its natural behaviors. And this can be in the form of puzzles or different kinds of food, different methods of which to put the food in, and sensory experiences, and sometimes even social opportunities as well. And these are to help them stimulate themselves physically and mentally to make sure that they don't get bored. It's very important to have enrichment as part of your animal care routine, because it'd be pretty boring if you wouldn't get a dog or a cat and not play with them. That's unfortunate for that animal, right? So it's important for your animals, any pet, to have some kind of stimulation. So just keep that in mind. And this can be in the form of food. Supplemental food is a great option to kind of add something different to the tank for them to be like, oh, that's something new. That's really cool. I'm going to go up and sniff it. I'm going to go up and taste it, and blah, blah, blah. Dry food is standard for freshwater. It can be also for salt. But I recommend frozen food options. Dry food can be really nice as a beginner, but I like frozen food options just because it's a little bit more natural of a food source. So they do make like freshwater multi-packs that have like bloodworms in them and different kinds of shrimps and all kinds of different carnivorous foods. And this would be really good for those carnivorous animals like sharks. And then for some of those I guess, vegetarian fish, the ones that don't really consume meat, that's when I would probably use the dry foods. But saltwater, same thing. I love these plunge packets. Like these ones that I've put on the screen here. These are my favorite. I love these little punch packets. We use them at the aquarium when I used to work there. Great options all around. And again, adding that supplemental food is just going to cause the nutritional standards and the health levels in your fish to just skyrocket. So just keep that in mind when you're picking foods out for your animals. Highly recommend recording everything in a aquarium logbook, but a journal would work just fine. Literally everything from water quality changes, food changes, behavior in your fish, anything and everything is important to document, because if you have a filtration issue now and that happens 5 years later and you maybe don't remember how you fixed it, at least you got the journal to help you remember. It also can be helpful if you do see an animal issue. It helps you track that animal issue. So if you have a fish that hasn't eaten for 3 days, you're notating that they haven't eaten for 3 days. And then maybe after that, you've noticed a lesion or something on your fish. And then you can then Google or reach out to a vet or reach out to the community at that point. So record everything via these aquarium logbooks, or just, again, a journal works just fine. And I would do this with any animal that I had. When it comes to problem solving and like troubleshooting, first thing I'll always say, just find a community. Find a community of people via a forum. An online forum is great, or go to clubs, go to community events like conventions. Find those people in the community that you can create a little bubble of people, so you have those people in your circle who can help you solve issues. Issues are going to come up, so solving them with a clear and calm mind are also important. Things are going to happen like floods. Things might happen where an animal passes away. That's normal. It would happen in the wild too. Animals pass away all the time in the wild, right? So this is not anything new. Things are going to happen. So as long as you can go at it with a calm brain and make those decisions appropriately for the sake of your animals, as well as the sake of your budget and the sake of your home, just go at everything with a clear head. And also set up a plan if you can. So if something does flood, what is your action plan? Do you have an alarm system on your tank? That can be set up. Your phone, you could have a video camera on your tank. So there are different solutions that you can have to help you kind of minimize problems. But just understanding your fish and understanding your setup is going to help you out. You know better than anybody else what your fish tank is going to do and what your fish are going to do, because you see them every single day. Just like if you're sick with something, if you have a cold, for example, that might affect you worse or better than somebody else out there, because you know your body better than anyone. Same thing with your fish tank. So just keep that in mind. Problems are going to arise. Things go wrong. It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. Everything happens, or everything can happen. So just be prepared and just do your best to do your research, do the work. Don't just get fish and ignore them. Do the actual work, and you'll be able to enjoy your fish tank without any problems. And when those problems do come up, you're able to solve them. So with that being said, that does conclude the webinar. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully we had no issues this time around. I did put my contact information up here. This is my personal phone number, which is also the Wave phone number. So if you do have any fish related questions, you have a fish tank or you're setting one up, just give me a text, give me a call. I do have other things going on. So if you leave me a voicemail, if I don't answer, just because I don't know if it's a scam or not, like just leave me a voicemail and I'll get back to you. You can also email me if you're more comfortable with that. You can also follow us on social media platforms, and you can message us there if you would like to do that as well. We also have the ebook option, which goes into more detail about fish health, as well as the ethics and sustainability of fish as well. So if you want something a little bit more in detail, we do have the ebook available on our website for $10. It's a pretty cheap price, in my opinion, for the kind of knowledge that you're getting. But that is a great option. It's downloadable, so you can just have the PDF, and then you always have this information. You can put it in your aquarium journal if you want. But it does go into more detail about like the ethical ramifications when it comes to aquariums, as well as more sustainable options for picking fish, as well as what to avoid. And then again, the fish health one, it goes into great detail about fish health. So it's a great option if you want that, but if not, that's okay too. That's what my information is up there for. So if you don't want the ebook, I'm available as well. So we hope you enjoyed the webinar, and we'll hopefully see you guys again for the next one. Thank you.